What is up, guys? So welcome back to another Python tutorial. This is number 3 in the Python tutorial series, and in this video, I'm gonna be talking about if statements and for loops. Yeah, so that's the basic idea of this tutorial. So last time where we left off, we had made a list of strings and printed them out and see how to really work with lists. And later we'll look at how you can build your own games and all that other fun stuff. But first we gotta learn the basics. So I'm just gonna delete all this code. Okay, so let's get started. So what are if statements? I'm just going to start with an if statement. So an if statement is basically a statement in programming that tests a condition, and based on that test, it gives you an output, or it basically returns a value. And you can obviously use if with an else. It tells you if that condition is not true, then what should I return? So let's just get started off with if statements. And so let's just call our variable x, which is equal to 0. And how do you write a if statement in Python? It's very easy. You don't even need a parentheses for this. You can just write if x double equal to, obviously, equal to 0. And you might have known in another programming language we use open brackets, and that really opens the brackets up. But in Python, that's not how if statements work. You gotta use a colon, and automatically when you press enter, you can see it indents 4 spaces automatically. This means that whatever I'm writing in these 4 spaces are going to be inside of this if statement. So let me just write print this is 0. I don't know what I'm doing at this point, but let's just try it out, and we should get an output that says print this is 0, because x is in fact 0 in this case. So obviously we go to the debugger, we click on debug, we click on Python file, and we should get the output as something. It's taking time, which is quite unusual. Okay, so it says here this is 0, and this is what we wanted. Now, so how can we basically use the if statement? So for example, we could use a greater than symbol, lesser than symbol. Okay, in this case, I'm just going to use a greater than symbol, which is obviously, x is obviously not equal to this. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to write an else statement. And inside of this else statement, I'm going to write print bot. And let's see if this works. And we should get a print bot. And as you can see, it printed bot because x is not greater than 0. Now let's basically look at an example that we can make. And if you are from my school, if you know me, then we've done this a million times already. So I'm just going to do it again. Okay, so this is basically saying if someone's age is, if they're eligible to vote or not. If you're watching from somewhere outside India, which most probably people aren't, but our voting age in India is basically 18. So let's just make a variable age and set it to say 17, and just make an if statement that says if age is greater than or equal to 18, then print you can vote. Very basic. And else print should be by just an example. So in this case we should actually get a by because our age is not greater than or equal to 18. Let's just see if it works. And as you can see, we got the output bye in the terminal, or we could go to the debug console, and as you can see, we have the result bye here. Now let's say So this was a fairly easy program, and that's how you can use if statements. In the next tutorial, I'm gonna actually tell you how to get input from the user and then do the same program again with input. Now we already used a lot of time. I don't know how much, but it's quite a bit of time that we've already used. So now I'm gonna basically talk about loops. So what are loops? Loops are basically statements that print. I mean not print. I mean run the command that is inside that loop for the number of times that they are specified to, or that we will do. So instead of, suppose I wanted to print out 1,000 names, like and the names are the same thing, which is highly unlikely, but it's fine. I wouldn't write print name, I mean print blah, like 1,000 times, right? So I would use so instead of doing that, I would just use a loop. So how do you use a loop in Python? So basically all you have to say is not for and in Python it's not like I is equal to blah blah, I plus plus, there's nothing like that. All you have to do is write I in range. I will tell you what in range does, and then open parentheses, close parentheses, and inside of this we want to specify the value of from how many times to how many times we have to loop. So we have to specify I is value and I is end, basically where it has to stop. So let's say from 0 to 5, and yeah, and after this we need to put a colon, because that's how it works in Python. No open brackets, and then I can just use the 4 indents and it'll automatically happen. And when you put a colon and press enter, it automatically goes 4 indents forward because it knows that you're going to use this for loop. Let's see if we get blah 5 times or 4 times or whatever times. And we got blah 5 times. Many of the people could make this mistake, but always start I with 0. If you started with 1, you're obviously going to get 4. Happen quickly. I mean, my PC is slow kind of, so as you can see you get 4 here, so that is, yeah. So these were 4 statements, for loops that we will be using to make games in more further tutorials or explanation of different Python modules that we import, and those are really important if you want to actually program properly. So now I'm just gonna finish off the tutorial by telling you how to write a forever loop. Okay, so how do you write forever loop? We use while, and instead of for you can use while, and we open the bracket and we just write here true. And this is how ideally you make a forever loop, and this is very useful in making games, as games, the screen of the games need to be updated multiple times. So exactly, yeah. So in this I can just write print a, and it's gonna break the terminal. Let's just see if it works, and it should break the entire terminal. Like, it's printing a. And I can't move up because it's still printing A, because it's a forever loop. I'm just gonna close that, and I'm just gonna write clear, so my terminal is gone. So this was a forever loop, and in the next tutorial I'm gonna talk about input. Yeah, that's it, and the next tutorial is gonna be a really short one. Hope you enjoy this video. Please hit the subscribe button and like button, which is something that most people do not do, but still, you guys can try it. Yeah, okay, thank you so much. Bye bye.